What if I told you there was a warrior in the Bible who was so fierce, so loyal, and so unstoppable that even lions and giants couldn't stand in his way? A man who, with nothing but courage and faith, defeated wild beasts, giants, and even turned the tides of history in the courts of David and Solomon. His name is Benaiah, and his story is one of the most incredible yet often overlooked in all of Scripture. Today, we're diving deep into the legendary life of Benaiah, a man who fought fearlessly for his king and his God. Stick with me as we uncover the thrilling details of his epic battles and unwavering loyalty. But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like to support our work. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Benaiah is an extraordinary figure in the Bible, and his legacy as a fierce warrior is one that cannot be ignored. While the name Benaiah might refer to other individuals in the Scriptures, the Benaiah we are focusing on today stands out as one of the most powerful and courageous warriors ever mentioned. He wasn't just a fighter, he was the commander of King David's elite army, and his actions in the heat of battle have left a lasting imprint on the history of ancient Israel. Benaiah was the son of Jehoiada, a prominent Levitical priest, and he came from the tribe of Levi, specifically from the family of the Kohathites. The Levites played essential roles in religious duties, including serving in the tabernacle and later in the Temple of Jerusalem. So from the beginning, Benaiah's lineage was both powerful and sacred, blending the priestly traditions with the might of a warrior. His name, Benaiah, carries deep meaning in Hebrew. It is derived from Ben, which means son of Anaiah, a shortened form of Yahweh or Jehovah, the name of God. Thus, Benaiah can be interpreted as son of God or one whom God shows mercy to. This is more than just a name. It's a reflection of the belief that Benaiah's life and actions were guided by a close, personal connection with God. In the Bible, names often have spiritual and symbolic significance, and Benaiah's name reflects his divine purpose and the strength he received from his relationship with God. But what sets Benaiah apart is not just his name or his lineage, it is his fearless bravery and the almost superhuman feats he accomplished. One of the most dramatic and shocking moments in Benaiah's story is his encounter with a lion. Imagine facing a lion, one of nature's most terrifying predators, in the confined space of a pit, and on a snowy day no less. The odds were heavily stacked against him. The snow would have made it difficult to maintain balance, and the lion, being a deadly force of nature, could easily overpower most men. Yet Benaiah, armed with nothing more than his courage, entered that pit and emerged victorious. This was no ordinary fight. This was a battle of life and death, and Benaiah's survival was nothing short of a miracle. This story is chronicled in the book of Samuel, which states Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, was a valiant man of Kabzeel, a doer of great deeds. He struck down 2 Ariels of Moab. He also went down and struck a lion in a pit on a day when snow had fallen. And he struck down an Egyptian, a man of great stature. The Egyptian had a spear in his hand, but Benaiah went down to him with a staff, snatched the spear out of the Egyptian's hand, and killed him with his own weapon. The mention of these events paints a picture of a man who was not just brave, but seemingly invincible. He killed a lion, faced off against powerful enemies, and even took down an Egyptian giant by turning the man's own weapon against him. These were acts that no ordinary person could accomplish. Benaiah wasn't just a soldier, he was a living legend. These incredible acts earned Benaiah immense respect and admiration in the courts of King David and later Solomon. His loyalty and unmatched bravery led to his appointment as commander of David's personal guard, a position of immense trust and responsibility. David, a king who valued courage and loyalty above all else, saw something extraordinary in Benaiah and rewarded him accordingly. But Benaiah's role was far more than that of a commander. His influence in David's court stretched beyond military matters. His priestly heritage likely gave him a unique role in balancing both spiritual and military concerns. Benaiah was not just a man of action, he was also a man of deep faith. However, the full extent of Benaiah's loyalty was tested during one of the darkest moments in King David's reign, the rebellion of his own son, Absalom. Absalom's revolt shook the very foundations of Israel. Imagine the turmoil, a son turning against his father, a kingdom on the brink of collapse, and the throne of Israel hanging in the balance. Many men might have wavered in their loyalty, uncertain which side to take in such a crisis, but not Benaiah. When David fled Jerusalem, leaving behind the capital in chaos, Benaiah stood by him. He didn't abandon his king. During David's exile, Benaiah remained at his side, unwavering in his loyalty. And when the time came to confront Absalom's forces, Benaiah was right there, ready to fight for David. The battle was fierce. And when Absalom was finally captured, Benaiah was among those who supported David's difficult decision to bring justice to his rebellious son. This moment was a turning point in Israel's history and highlighted Benaiah's deep devotion to David. Even when faced with betrayal and conflict within the royal family, Benaiah's loyalty never faltered. He stood firm in his faith and commitment to the kingdom. Another situation that demonstrates Benaiah's faithfulness was when Adonijah, David's son, sought to proclaim himself as the next king of Israel. There was a conspiracy surrounding his ascent to the throne. He gathered followers and organized a feast, during which he declared himself king, even without his father David's approval. Adonijah's action created a tumultuous and potentially dangerous political scenario as it challenged the royal succession plan by David, who intended for his son Solomon to be the next king. In this context, Benaiah's loyalty shone through. He remained loyal to David and the king's plan for Solomon to succeed him as the king of Israel. Benaiah did not join Adonijah's conspiracy and did not support Adonijah's self-proclamation as king. His unwavering dedication to David and the kingdom supported David's desire to follow God's will regarding the royal succession. Adonijah's action in proclaiming himself king challenged the royal succession planned by David and threatened the stability of the kingdom. This action by Adonijah generated tension and division within the kingdom, as some followers and leaders supported him while others remained loyal to David. The political situation became extremely delicate, and there was a risk of armed conflict between the factions supporting Adonijah and those supporting Solomon, David's chosen successor. David, seeing the threat to his authority and the royal succession of his son Solomon, took decisive measures to ensure the fulfillment of his plans and the continuity of the Davidic dynasty. He publicly proclaimed Solomon as his heir and successor, and an anointing ceremony was conducted to confirm the divine choice. Additionally, David instructed Bathsheba, Solomon's mother, to act with wisdom and determination to ensure Solomon's safety. The end result was the confirmation of Solomon's choice as king of Israel, and Adonijah saw his attempt at usurpation fail. The dramatic events that followed served to consolidate Solomon's reign and reinforce the continuity of the Davidic dynasty in Israel's history. Adonijah's story is an example of how royal succession was a crucial issue in ancient Israeli politics and how loyalty and divine intervention played an important role in determining the next king. Some important figures in David's court lost prestige, and one of them was Joab, the commander of the Israelite army. Joab, who had been a loyal commander to David in many battles and military campaigns, had his loyalty tested as the power transition unfolded. Joab initially was not aligned with Solomon's succession, as he had supported Adonijah's attempt to become king. His support for Adonijah was a sign of weakness in his loyalty to David and the Davidic dynasty, and his willingness to follow the candidate not chosen by David put him at odds with the divinely ordained plan. When Adonijah's conspiracy failed and David publicly proclaimed Solomon as his heir, Joab realized that his support for Adonijah had been a political mistake. He found himself in a delicate position, and to preserve his place and avoid retaliation from Solomon, he sought refuge in the tabernacle, clinging to the altar as a symbol of protection and forgiveness. Joab's action, clinging to the altar, is an example of how tumultuous and uncertain the situation was at that moment. However, Solomon, after assuming the throne, ordered Benaiah to execute Joab as an act of justice for his previous support of Adonijah and his wavering loyalty. Joab's fall represents how intrigue and ambition during the power transition led to changes in loyalties and the reaffirmation of the authority of the new king, Solomon. After Joab's execution, Solomon chose Benaiah as his military commander, demonstrating his confidence in Benaiah's leadership role. Benaiah took on the responsibility of leading the Israelite army under Solomon's reign, and his appointment reflected the continued loyalty and demonstrated skill throughout his career. His life's journey from courageous acts in David's reign to leadership under Solomon's reign exemplified his dedication and remarkable abilities as a warrior and leader. After Benaiah's rise as the army commander, the story continued to reveal his unwavering loyalty to Solomon. He faithfully served the new king and played a key role in maintaining stability and order in Israel. The power transition and Joab's execution followed by Benaiah's leadership reflect how changes in political and military leadership were marked by loyalty, courage, and notable skills in Israel's history. Later on, Adonijah, Absalom's brother, returns to the kingdom. His attempt to self-proclaim as king, despite his father David already designating Solomon as his successor, demonstrated his ambition and desire for power. The story of Adonijah is marked by a second attempt to usurp the throne. His second attempt to seize power reinforced the central role of loyalty and God's choice in determining the next king and maintaining order in the kingdom. Adonijah requested the hand of Abishag, one of David's concubines, as his wife. This request was interpreted as an attempt to claim the throne, since in the culture of the time, marrying a king's concubine could be seen as an act of asserting power. Adonijah didn't learn from his brother Absalom's previous failure, and instead followed a similar path. His defiant action created more turmoil and division within the kingdom of Israel, jeopardizing the stability of the government. This led Solomon to take measures to neutralize any potential threat from Adonijah. For this reason, Solomon ordered Benaiah to execute Adonijah, marking the end of any serious challenge to the royal succession and consolidating his own reign as the legitimate king of Israel. Benaiah's execution of Adonijah demonstrated the former's loyalty to the new king and his commitment to maintaining order and the continuity of the Davidic dynasty. By carrying out Solomon's order, Benaiah once again proved to be a loyal commander and executor of royal decisions, regardless of the personal impact such actions might have. His exemplary conduct as a military leader and his obedience to royal authority played a crucial role in maintaining order and the king's authority in Israel. Benaiah also played a role in the execution of Shimei, as ordered by King Solomon. Shimei was known for cursing King David in the past, when David was fleeing from Absalom during his son's rebellion. Later, Shimei begged for forgiveness from David, who agreed not to kill him, but made him swear not to leave Jerusalem. However, after David's death, Shimei broke his oath and left Jerusalem. This was seen as a violation of his commitment and a threat to Solomon's reign stability. Therefore, Solomon ordered Shimei to be killed for his breach of oath. Benaiah was tasked with carrying out this order, which he did, demonstrating his loyalty to royal authority. Thus, Benaiah was responsible for the execution of Joab, Adonijah, and Shimei, fulfilling the orders of Kings David and Solomon to maintain stability and order in the kingdom of Israel. His actions reflect his fidelity to royal leadership and his commitment to enforcing royal decisions, even when they involve the execution of individuals. In conclusion, Benaiah's life story is one of incredible courage, unwavering loyalty, and deep faith. From defeating lions and giants to standing by his king during the most turbulent times, Benaiah exemplifies the qualities of a true warrior and servant of God. His loyalty to King David and Solomon, along with his willingness to follow God's plan, showcases the importance of faith and dedication. His legacy continues to inspire, reminding us that with faith and courage we can overcome the greatest challenges. If you enjoyed learning about Benaiah's remarkable story, make sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and leave a comment below sharing your thoughts. We appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Stay tuned, and until then, take care.